Welcome to the Game Rage Star Wars podcast. Oh, fuck yeah, buddy. Let's not stand on ceremony here.
I like how this fucking theme song has nothing to do with Star Wars.
I mean, I was just... the old themes... Okay, so... What's funny, we'll get into that because we can talk about that on this episode. But today we're talking about Darth Vader comics. We're also currently cross-reviewing them with on Panel to Panel, which is the Game Rage Comic Podcast. And we're doing an in-depth, per-issue, review of Darth Vader 2015 and Darth Vader 2017, which 2015 takes place between episodes 3 and 4. 2017 takes place between episodes 3 and 4. No, wait. 2015 is between 4 and 5.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the other one's 3 and 4. So check that out if you want to hear a more in-depth, specific issue. This is going to be like an overarching, broad review. But before we get into it, go to Game Rage Magazine on YouTube.
It's not a review. We're just going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about it. It's just a discussion, I guess. But you can go to Game Rage Magazine, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official and go check out the All Gas No Trash podcast. Additionally, you can check out Anime Syndicate, and you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. All right. So, Darth Vader.
Yes. Darth Vader's.
These comics are pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed them quite a bit. Well, we've only read one issue so far of the 2017 series, which is the in between 3 and 4. But this is the 2017 or the 2015 series has the introduction of Dr. Aphra as a character, which if you want to hear more about the origins of Dr. Aphra, the real origins, you can go listen to Without Censor, and you can listen to Edward Erdelak, the original creator of Dr. Aphra, but it was stolen from him. And you can hear all about that on Without Censor, his episode. But it's got the introduction of Dr. Aphra. You get sweet, evil C-3PO and R2-D2. You get Vader doing Vader things. And I feel like it works in the overall canon of the storyline because we're not... Like, with 7, 8, and 9, right? Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, Kylo Ren is just not... He wasn't as compelling of a villain as Darth Vader was, right? I mean, sure, he had his moments, he had his things that were compelling about him, but these expanded... what's the new expanded universe, I guess is what it's called, or what it would be. We're getting to see official canon events and things happen that show the characters that we all love and enjoy in different situations, I guess. Because that Vader Down section of that like crossover with the actual Star Wars comic. Like, again, we talked about it a little bit on that issue that we did, or the episode we did talking about that. But we all know nobody's gonna fucking die, right? We know no major issues are gonna happen with any of the major characters because we know what happens in the story. But even despite that, I don't know if it's like the characters because we love them or if it's because of just the writing was good, but the storyline was good. It was great. It was enjoyable. Even though we kind of know, like, I wouldn't say it's no stakes, but it's pretty low stakes at that point for main character things, Yeah,
the only thing I have to say is that, and I've said it before in the other the episodes pertinent to that for Panel to Panel for the Vader Down event, that it's like you're getting blue balls constantly. It's like, wow, you're gonna have this great fucking war, this great war on Vogravos where there's a rebel base, where they're seemingly having Luke go there to find out if he can gather any info or artifacts for any information about the Jedi that he could potentially use to become a Jedi Master or possibly even start a Jedi Order going forward. But it's like, okay, that's fucking cool. They're doing that.
Yeah.
But then they play it out in a way where it's just a tease. It's just a tease. You get Luke looking into this door or something, and it's I don't remember if it's Obi-Wan, I believe, the Force Ghost Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and also Anakin, where he's like, oh, I see somebody else or some shit. And then, of course, 000 and 000 and the other little bastard,
BT,
destroyed the Jedi Temple or that whole area, and that's the most we got. And I think it could have served us a little bit better to get a little bit more out of that. You teased it, and I think you could have given us a little bit more. And it kind of sucks that. And I know it's a Darth Vader Star Wars crossover, so you would probably maybe get that more out of Star Wars. But fuck, man, like for a big event like that, where it's 6 issues that you have to read, I need a little bit more than that.
Yeah, true. I think what they gave us, the Dr. Aphra basically getting kidnapped by the rebels, that was the big, I don't know, the big to-do about the whole crossover event, because that was the apex of the event, was Dr. Aphra basically interacting with all of the main characters. I mean, every main character. And what's crazy as fuck is like, okay, Dr. Aphra, in the context of like, they, like, at least Han Solo, like, they know who she is. Like, her reputation precedes her, right? But obviously this character didn't exist when the original trilogy came out. And this character did not have a role in any of the major events that took place, right? But what's funny is it's that whole like main character fucking energy. Like, Dr. Aphra gives off like she's main character energy, right? But at the end of the day, we know she's really not. Like, this is not a story about her. But these little side things that we get, or I should say the main Skywalker saga storyline, is obviously it's not about Dr. Aphra. And she seemingly had no contributions to the main storyline whatsoever, at least that we know of. But maybe in these issues and these side stories, we're going to get to see, maybe she played more of obviously she played some sort of a role in the shaping of the rebellion, because she is actively on Darth Vader's side and working for him and fighting against the rebellion at the same time. So, which again, just character development for Dr. Aphra. I mean, like we talked about a little bit, but she wants to be there. Like, she wants to be fucking working for Vader. And she's like, dude, you need a buddy, man. You just need a guy. You need a friend. Man, relax, guy.
She also appreciates security over like freedom, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or rather, it's kind of like that Benjamin Franklin thing, that quote he has about those that sacrifice their freedoms for security deserve neither, or some shit.
Yeah, the exact quote is, those who give up liberty for security deserve neither. That's what the saying is. But the quote is, but yeah, and that's true. I mean, but she's like, oh, I want this like job security, because she's, like a treasure hunter or whatever. Like, she goes around and does fucking heists, and she's like a criminal.
But the galaxy's better. Well, she, at least in her mind, she thinks the galaxy, the Galactic Empire is serviceable for governance, because it makes things more manageable as opposed to more chaotic, where there's warring worlds and shit.
Yeah, true. You asked me a question that we were going to get into about like lightsaber colors.
No, that's going to be its own episode.
Oh, that'll be its own episode. All right, cool.
But this is mainly about Vader, because it looks like well, I don't know how many how many issues in for the 2015 series, where it seems like the entirety of this series is based on the machinations of the Empire, like how it operates and what Vader has been doing to ensure that the Empire is still operating, which is, I think I think there is value in this, because we get to see like how the Empire gets money and resources to keep this shit going, because this is well after the fact for the Battle of Yavin, that they're trying to pool things together so they can get shit going again. Possibly, like, I'm kind of curious if this whole war of the Shooter-Run war, if they're gathering ore to make metal beams or whatever the fuck for the second Death Star.
Yeah, that very well could be. And what's crazy if you think about this too on like a meta level of the whole galactic empire as a whole, dude, just the cost of money and personnel and resources that were lost with the destruction of that Death Star. I mean, I don't even think the number exists. Quadrillion, maybe. Who the fuck knows how much it cost to build the actual Death Star? But let alone, there had to have been hundreds of millions of people on the actual Death Star itself. Like, I don't know what the actual number is, but maybe I can find it. But when that shit gets destroyed, that is a major fucking impact to the Empire, because that loss of capital is insane. The Death Star had over 1 million Imperial personnel. It said it had 1.7 million military personnel, civilian contractors and catering staff, 250,000. So there were 2 million fucking people
that died
just on the Death Star, right?
Could they put all their
also personnel.
They put all their fucking eggs in one basket.
They did. I wonder how much the Death Star cost. Let's see. How much did the Death Star cost? Jesus Christ, it cost 1 trillion credits to build, which who knows what that what that is. How much was the first Death Star would have cost? Okay, so in US dollars, according to the actual US government, they did a study, and they said that the first Death Star would have cost $852 quadrillion.
Oh, goddamn.
That's a shit ton of fucking money, man.
Yeah, of course it would.
That's more money than I think I've ever fucking heard of.
Yeah.
And that loss to the Empire obviously was felt, because even they couldn't even, let's be real, the Empire could almost not recover from this.
No, they couldn't.
And that's why they ended up losing the war, was because of they couldn't put a cover on a vent for a little fucking thing so that some asshole pilot didn't shoot a little goddamn thing in there. Now, granted, I'm sure they never thought like that this would ever fight. Oh, some guy will use the Force. All the Jedi are dead.
And also, they surrounded themselves. Well, at least Emperor Palpatine surrounded himself with competent people, but he also wouldn't take the advice of someone like General Tagg, which I think is one of the coolest things within the 2015 Star Wars series.
Yeah,
is General Tagg seeing the value of the economy of like resources, to not waste all the money, to put all their eggs in one basket for a fucking Death Star, and be like, man, we could have bought like we could have gotten 1,200 Super Star Destroyers.
yeah.
Instead of like, and they could be literally everywhere, but you decided to put on this
one thing.
Yeah, this one thing, you fucking idiots.
And what's very interesting too is if you read the new Thrawn trilogy, the new by Timothy Zahn actually wrote a new Thrawn trilogy, and it's very interesting because this happens during basically this kind of the same time period, or some of the books happen during this same in-between time period. And there is one of the books is a whole side adventure with Vader and fucking Thrawn going out and doing like a bunch of shit. And what's very interesting is Thrawn is like the herald of, hey guys, there is a threat that exists out there. Because Thrawn's from the Chiss Empire, which is another fucking galaxy. They're in a whole nother fucking galaxy that Thrawn comes here to say, hey, there is this threat that exists. And it's alluded to, but it's not directly said. But my opinion is it's the Yuzong Vong. Like that they're setting this up to bring them, the Yuzong Vong, back into the canon or whatever. But Thrawn says that, hey, you need to create something, because these guys that are coming, like, they're immune to the Force. That's one of the things about the whole Yuzong Vong. That's why Palpatine, this is the reason why Palpatine creates the Death Star. It wasn't to necessarily fully bring everyone into heel. It was to have this massive weapon that he could annihilate the Yuzong Vong
in one
ships
shot.
In one shot, he could just annihilate them. And this was never meant, the Death Star was never actually intended to be built to stop the rebellion. It was built to stop the Yuzong Vong, because that's what Palpatine was really trying to fight. He was trying to, and if you want to look at Palpatine as like from an altruistic sort of like vision, which is probably inaccurate, but altruistically, he was really trying to bring everyone together under one banner because he knew what was coming. Like, he knew this whole shit was about to happen, and he knew that the only way that humanity or like this galaxy would survive is if they all came together to fight this alien menace. And so, that's basically kind of what happened.
I think that's where Star Wars could stand to open itself up beyond a family or a bloodline, or have it centered around the Force, is that you have it be combative between two galaxies or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, to really open it up. But like, they never really take the chance in doing that. But whatever. That's besides the point. But go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, my opinion with going forward from this, I think that Disney needs to fucking bring the Yuzong Vong in, and they need to do. This will be a post, obviously, Skywalker saga deal, so this will be a post Episode 9 storyline, but they need to have Yuzong Vong. That needs to be the next threat that the galaxy faces, is the Yuzong Vong. And that's the only way, in my opinion, you really bring back the tarnish that you've put from 7, 8, and 9 onto the canon or the storyline. But anyways.
Also to shed light, or shed a different light on the name Star Wars itself.
Right. Yeah. Because it's always been about Skywalker shit.
Yeah. I don't
1, 2, and 3 were the Anakin Skywalker saga. 4, 5, and 6 were the fucking Luke Skywalker saga. And theoretically, listen, you can say Rey's a quote unquote Skywalker all you want, but 7, 8, and 9 were just the continuation and the end of the Luke Skywalker saga. It was just the wrapping up, putting the nice little pretty bow on this whole fucking story. So, this series, though, even though we already kind of know what the eventual outcome is going to be, this is still like refreshing. It's a great set of stories, and like, the way that they're doing this, they're chopping this up into little like books with little like independent stories or whatever. It's fucking great. It's really good. I enjoy it. Like I said, we've only done one issue of the 2017 series, but
yeah, that one looks like, to contrast from the 2015 series, where it's about the governance of the Galactic Empire and Vader doing the bidding of Emperor Palpatine and shit. This one looks like it might be more more in line with Vader tapping into being a Sith Lord and doing all the doings of that shit. So, I mean, I'm only speculating on that, but I do like the fact that we're getting two different sides of Vader within the same, or rather, two different sides of Vader within two different comics. So we're not just getting the same thing. It's not just Vader doing Galactic Empire shit in this 2017 series, which you might do, but if it's more so about him becoming a Sith and doing the rites of passage, like I'm fucking for it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this is going to be a fucking great series. Everybody should check it out, and I think if you want to hear again more in depth per issue discussion, go check out Panel to Panel, because that's where we do a real in depth per issue, analysis of each issue, as it were. So, anyways, do you have anything else to add about this? All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll get out of here. Go check us out on Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X, Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. That was the Game Rage Star Wars podcast. Don't forget, like and subscribe on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. In addition to the actual website of www.GameRageMagazine.com. Check it out for a host of all of our other podcasts and everything else that we do, to be determined later. Thanks for listening.